Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Joe here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll go through some of the newspapers here in Spain, check out what is happening in the press. We'll have a look at El Mundo, El País, RTVE, the state broadcaster. Then at the end of the video, we'll go into the comment section and check out what is happening there. A short video today, considering that it is a public holiday here in Spain. I hope everybody is enjoying their Easter break, if you're able to get away and enjoy your Easter this year, that is. Of course, here in Spain, we can't do much. The weather today has thwarted any attempts to get out and about today here in Madrid. Very, very bad weather. I think the weather is better in some of the coastal areas here in Spain, so hopefully you are able to enjoy the weather down there, but here, as I said, quite bad. So let's get straight into the news. And there's an article here in the center about the Fenomeno Valenciano anti-COVID, so we'll click on that one. And the headline reads, the Valencian anti-COVID phenomenon. This is how Valencia has managed to have the lowest incidence rate in Spain. The Valencian community has achieved a decrease in positive cases of 97.5% from 1,457 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in January. One of the keys to this success, home confinement without decreeing it. So there we go, another headline there about the Valencian phenomenon, the Valencian miracle, as they have been also calling it in some newspapers, being able to get that incidence rate way down in a short period of time, when the rest of Spain unfortunately hasn't really been able to do it. Madrid, for example, hasn't been able to do it. Some places in the north of Spain, Navarra, for example, the Basque Country, haven't been able to do it. Extremadura did it for a little while, but cases are back up again there. So the Valencian phenomenon able to get the numbers down, and let's hope they can keep those numbers down. And of course, as we know, this Easter weekend is going to be crucial to see whether or not the health situation in that particular part of Spain remains under control. So well done to the Valencian community, and hopefully they can have a normal summer down there with tourism. Now we'll go back into the news, and there's an article here on the right about all of the fines that have been given over the last year or so because of breaking COVID rules. Let's click on that one. And this is an article also related to the Valencian community, and the headline reads that the majority of fines for COVID violations are never collected. The autonomous communities here in Spain are overwhelmed by the process that the state of alarm delegated to them and for which they have no means. In the Valencian community, barely 1% of fines have been collected. So fines apparently here in Spain have been given out left, right and centre since the pandemic began because of people breaking COVID rules, as we saw there, but the autonomous communities just don't have the capacity to collect these fines. And as we saw there in the Valencian community, only around 1% of fines have been charged. So what's the point? Police around the country fining people for breaking the rules, yet the administration doesn't have the capacity to go through with the bureaucratic process and collect the money. So I'll add that one to the list of strange stories that have popped up in the press since this pandemic began here in Spain. Now we'll leave El Mundo, go into El País, check out what is happening there. Lots of news about vaccines, and there's an article here about AstraZeneca, so we'll click on that one. And according to a vaccine expert here in Spain, it is unacceptable that each country in Europe has a different criteria for the AstraZeneca vaccine. Amos Garcia Rojas, president of the Spanish Association of Vaccination and advisor to the immunization plan in Spain, demands a clear, resounding and understandable speech from the European Medicines Agency. And let's be honest, it is a little bit strange that different countries in the European Union have a different criteria when it comes to AstraZeneca. We see what's happening in Germany, we see what's happening in Spain, we see what's happening in other countries around Europe, that they have different criteria when it comes to the age groups of people that can be vaccinated with AstraZeneca. Here in Spain, they've changed it 2 or 3 times. Germany as well, I think, came out yesterday and said that some parts of Germany, Berlin for one, was going to change the criteria there. So very confusing when it comes to this vaccine, and it just goes to show how the European Union is not able to work together on important matters like vaccines. Now we'll go back into the news, and there's an article just below that about Spain breaking a record yesterday when it comes to vaccines, so we'll click on that one. And we can see the headline is España bate su récord. Spain breaks its record of vaccines given in one day with more than 306,000 injected doses. So the country now, as we can see, starting to take the vaccine campaign seriously here. A record number of vaccines administered yesterday, 306,000 as we saw. So good news there. And apparently hopefully over this long weekend, some autonomous communities, I don't think all of them, but some are going to continue with their vaccination campaigns over these Easter holidays. So we'll see if we can reach that 70% target that the European Union and Spain has set on trying to get that amount of the population vaccinated by the summer. July the 14th, remember, that's what the European Union has come out and said, but Spanish politicians are saying perhaps the end of summer, so maybe around September here in Spain. So we'll wait and see, and we'll keep a close eye on whether these targets can be reached. Now we'll leave El País, go into RTVE, the state broadcaster, and we can see that there's an article on the left about how the autonomous communities are receiving more doses of AstraZeneca today, and that will accelerate the vaccination plan. And the main story the state broadcaster is going with here in the center of the page is about migrant minors that are separated from their parents in the Canary Islands. One woman was apparently separated from her child for 36 days, and she said, "When my son was returned to me, I was resurrected." So the migrant crisis here in Spain, in places like the Canary Islands, still making the headlines, and stories like that one there of a mother who was separated from her child for 36 days. Now let's leave the news there and go into the comment section and check out what is happening there. We'll have a look at this one here from Terry. "Hi Stuart, love getting your updates every day and thank you for them. We were tourists for years but are now second homeowners in Spain. We are desperate to get back over and just enjoy some sun. Would be happy to be confined to our villa and not visit a single bar or restaurant if it came to it. A few chilled beers and a barbecue around our pool is what we are yearning for. Hope we get to come over in summer, not seen our villa for a year, but have definitely still seen the bills coming in." Yeah, Terry, thanks for the comment, and hopefully you guys will be able to come down to Spain sooner rather than later and enjoy a little bit of time in the sun, have a barbecue around the pool, as you mentioned there, and enjoy a few beers. Doesn't really matter if you don't visit bars and restaurants, because obviously there's going to be some restrictions in place, but hopefully, as I said, those restrictions are lifted in the UK and you guys will be able to travel. And I imagine that there are a lot of people in a similar situation to yourselves that have property in the country and just want to get down and enjoy some time here. And you're right, unfortunately the bills don't stop. They keep coming in every month. I know a lot of people here in Spain that are also angry because they can't travel to different parts of the country to go to second homes, and they're also complaining about those bills piling up and they're not able to enjoy their property. Somebody that I know even suggested not paying those bills, especially when it comes to property tax, and wait and see just how quickly local councils change their criteria and allow people again to visit those areas. But it is the situation that we have at the moment. I'm in a similar situation also because I have property in Portugal and I have that apartment sitting there empty collecting dust. But what can I do? On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.